to Finding Calm in the Chaos. I am Denise Sith, and this is my podcast. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to another episode of Finding Calm in the Chaos. I'm Denise, your hostess with the mostest today, and we have a lot to talk about. I have just like a bunch of little things that are like enlightening me. First off, I want to jump right in to say that this is episode 131, but in all with the coffee talks, I have a 200 episode anniversary coming up in March, and I'm pretty excited about it. Super excited about it. So, I don't know. Thinking like, I don't know. What should I do? What should I do to celebrate? Don't know. Send me some messages. Not a clue. All of that stuff. Anyway, moving on here. I want to thank you guys for the huge positive feedback that I've gotten back on the last couple episodes. I really and truly appreciate it. So I love the compliments and that people are glad that I'm saying stuff and that they don't feel crazy and that nobody's crazy. Well, some people are crazy, but I'm so glad that I'm talking about this, and I want to encourage everyone to open a very kind and level-headed conversations with other people. Because the more we do this and the more we talk about facts and rationale and look at other perspectives with compassion, but knowing when to draw the line, I'm okay with having compassion for people. And I've said this a million times over, but I'm having compassion for someone's, strife or trouble or injustice does not mean that I have to live in your truth, period. Because I don't want you in my truth. Clearly, you do not. It is not yours. So you live your truth. I live my truth. And as long as we start respecting that, you're going to see this divide in the country of the United States is going to go away. It's going to go away. And I'm seeing that slowly but surely, a lot of people are getting, quite frankly, outraged that this divide was intentional for greed. It's sad, but true. Okay. So one of the things I want to talk about based on that was, I think everybody doing this, but then once in a while, it's the end of the month, so I'm looking at my statistics on the podcast, and they always give me the list of the top listening audiences, the countries that they come from. So currently, last I checked, I was listening in over 62 countries, which to me is just mind-blowing. I can't even get over that, but I am, and I'm super excited about it. The podcast is going to continue through 2025, and I'm just really, I almost have like a renewed energy in it right now because I'm not sick. I'm not feeling like poop, and I can talk, and I'm trying all that. And we're going to talk about health and stuff later, more about that. I'm going to really be touching home hard. There you go. On health this year, because I think that so many people are going to be really confused by all the information that is going to be released this year about all of the things around us that we are eating and medicine, and that is literally been poisoning us slowly for decades. And I know this is surprising and will be surprising to a lot of people, and it's hard to grasp when you just are finding out this huge rabbit hole after 20, 30 years of it slowly evolving. I get. So if you're like that person who's all into, the naturals and all of this, know that not everybody, like right now, the biggest thing is everybody's getting some sort of like 3-month certificate to call themselves detox coaches. That bothers me. It bothers me. Please see a licensed professional, meaning licensed within the state. And I can tell you wholeheartedly that to the last of my knowledge, there isn't a state in the United States of America that has a licensed certification for holistic health. Now, do I agree with that? No, because I have it. I have a whole degree in this. Okay. But it is absolutely useless in this country unless I do it out of my own home and practice within the scope that I know. And I don't reach out of it. I refer people out. However, there are lots of people, again, jumping on this detox bandwagon, this parasite bandwagon. And I'm not saying that they don't exist, but not every person in the world has parasites. Not every person, your kid is not acting out or on the spectrum or autistic because he has parasites. He might be, but I can guarantee you that it's what's really happening. And they'll fight me hand and knee. I had one girl fight me online like, you don't know that my son had so many issues. And as soon as I changed everything and detoxed him from parasites, he's had a remarkable change. Well, number one, it really has nothing to do with parasitic issues. What it has to do with is that you were feeding him with crappy cereals and garbage foods, intentionally or unintentionally, is irrelevant at this point. But you weren't food aware, I like to call it, or food awoken, okay? I don't want to use the word woke in any frame or circumstance. I just started twice. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Woo. But I do want to know that a lot of people are awakening or becoming aware of the food supply issue and that sourcing is everything. So when you go from feeding your kids things that have been told that you're told is convenient or healthy, but are just covered in sugars and dyes, and you remove those from a child's diet, you're going to see a substantial change, whether your kid's on the spectrum or not. I guarantee it. I guarantee it, my friends. So please be careful of that as well. I'm really wary of that. But okay, sorry, I kind of went on a side bin. My rants, side rant, back. Okay, so going back to how I am going to continue to just kind of be informative, kind of look at both sides. I did have some conversations with some far left friends. And they were really, they always take a lot of emotion. They take a lot of energy out of me, a lot of energy, because you have to stay really even keeled and non-emotional with people who lay far left in their beliefs. And you just have to say, I found that if you stay just emotionless enough to get them calm, because they're so emotional, that they will literally meet you in the middle. And then you can have a conversation. They might not agree with you. She didn't agree with me about anything. But I did give her some facts that she didn't know about. And so I guarantee you, or I hope she did, start thinking about it. So I hope every time the misinformed emotional echo chamber information pops in her head, I want her to think, you know what? I'm just going to look that up like she said. Or go look at the link that she sent me. And then do her own dive and decide then with actual information and factual information that she could make a decision on whether or not she wants to continue the belief that she originally had or go with something that was more factual and kind of amend. Oh, I kind of get that now. Well, I still have a problem with this, but that is what you want. That is what we want in America right now. So that said, back to the podcasting. I looked up my latest countries. Okay, so who listens the most? United States up on top. Never surprised by that. That's the largest percentage. Right after that, like brace yourself right now. Ukraine. I don't know if this is good or they're planning a coup against me. The Ukraine, sorry. I have lots of Ukrainian friends. Stop it, they know. Jeez, I'm a hockey person. I know people from all over the world. So United States, Ukraine, Canada, they're going to hate me. Japan, Thailand, Australia. I love my Australia Pete's. Switzerland popped in here out of nowhere. United Kingdom, I usually hold strong there in the top 10. Serbia. I do have Serbian friends, so I'm not going to lie. In Serbia. And Russia. They're probably going to love me now. I'm just joking. Half the time, listen, it is what it is. Stop it, Denise. Just go. And I'm still I'm mostly listened on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, which is my platform for podcasting, and Spotify. There's that. I don't listen to my podcasts, but my husband does, but it's on Audible. So that's not even on here. So I guess if I look down the list at Audible, let's see if that's even on here. It is not. It is not at all. Okay, then. But that's what's going on with that. So let's move on to the next topic, because I got literally, that's why I called it tit for tat. Hey, if you guys don't know, there is so much stuff going on. We are being distracted horribly as Americans right now. We are being distracted horribly. We have the government, the current administration is uncovering tons of misuse and theft and laundering of our tax dollars. And people, to me, are not as concerned as they should be about this, like at all. Okay. So I honestly think that I just want to believe that it's a small percentage of people who just, for whatever reason, are just not going to like Trump or Elon Musk no matter what. Now, I believe I mentioned it in the last couple podcasts in one of them, but I am not a fan of Elon Musk. I feel like he's very similar. This is going to be a horrible comparison, but he's going to understand. He's kind of like Mr. Sith, where he's awkward in situations. And when he does talk, he says things that are occasionally highly inappropriate, but that he finds funny because he's kind of off in his own world. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like Mr. Sith. Like, it just, I don't know. I see a lot of comparisons between the two of them. And I just don't understand why people are just so highly hate him. Like, I always put this. What if you went into politics? Think about this. I already know my answer, okay? But I'm going to give just in general. I think anybody who has something to say politically about an opponent. So like for me, here's an easy example. For me, could I go into politics and do what Biden did? I could go into politics and do actual stuff that Biden didn't have any clue. He wasn't even president. Let's be honest, dudes. He couldn't even stand up. He couldn't talk. He couldn't stand up. He was creepy AF. Why? Okay. Then you've got Harris. I'm sorry, but did anybody actually listen to her speak? She's an imbecile. She's an actual imbecile. And like in between everything, with that, shut up. If you laugh like that, don't do that when you're trying to be like told you're serious. I do a lot of crazy things. I do a lot of funny things. I do a lot of not so funny things. But if I was running for a political position, number one, I'd get fucking elected. Let me tell you why. Because I have a power to have masses come. I know how to intrigue people. Why? Because I don't know. It's been my personality my entire life. People have followed me around. Random strangers have told me deep, dark secrets in the middle of a fucking grocery store. It just happens. So I have what I like to call like the Clinton-Trump charisma. People like them, or they don't. That's me. And this is what Trump has that Clinton didn't have. And if you're sitting there, Clinton didn't have like charisma. Yes, he did. He absolutely did. People, and especially women, were infatuated with him. And they were infatuated with him. because he had charm and charisma and he talked to people. Would that work for me? No, because I'm also a bullshit radar. Now, am I saying that Trump isn't a bullshitter? He absolutely is. But he comes from a different kind of confidence. And I see where he's from. Like, people always laugh and they're like, gee, can you believe that he wrote that on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called now? Social media platform. We'll just call it that. And I'm just like, yeah. Do you know how many times a day I stop myself from posting shit like that? He just posts it. Could you imagine being president, Denise? No, because people would hate me more than Donald Trump. I am Donald Trump with a vagina. There's that. So, like, I've said things that are so racy, would turn people's heads. I've done things that are crazy. Apparently, we both have felonies. Does he have a felony? I don't think he did. Was he ever convicted? I don't even know. Because you know why? I don't care. Because I'm not really, it's interesting when you look at everything right now, how everything that Trump's been accused of is what is being uncovered now as dirty deeds from the previous administration. Stay with me. Because, and this is always the truth, when you have a relationship and you have someone in the relationship who's constantly blaming and gaslighting the other person for doing stuff, it's usually the gaslighter doing the stuff, reflecting and mirroring their misdeeds onto the other person to remain in control and be superior, hold a superior stance. Think about that. It's the same thing that's happened. Does he do that? Yeah. Do I wish he could talk like, a seasoned, polished politician? Not really, actually. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong with Trump as well. You want to bring in their past lives. Now, if you bring in the personal lives of presidents, there are issues. There are huge issues with all of them, with absolutely every single person. We're not there to charge them based on, do you want people judging you based on stuff you said 20 years ago? Or what you did 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago? He's old, right? You don't. But like constantly referring to the man as a racist and a misogynist when half of his people around him are women of power. Come on, man. We got like a powerhouse women, and it is amazing. And people of color, Kash Patel, like, don't even get me started. You have to look twice. You can't be like calling somebody a racist and a misogynist, and then he has all these people in his cabinet. It's like, what are you doing? It doesn't make any sense. And it's because of personal feelings. Like, I really can't say too much about Biden because, number one, I don't know much about him. I know personally just how it affected my family. I understand how he was connected with the whole Ukraine affair. Sorry, my Ukraine people. But, and the dirty works under with his son and all that. That's pretty much enough. No, say bye. We did 4 years. Did I cry baby about it? Not function? Get out of bed? No, it was just an every day for 4 years. He was my president because he was the president of the United States. This whole, he's not going to be president for long. Somebody made a statement the other day about how, he's the Trump administration is going to collapse within 30 days. Meanwhile, it's the same person that predicted that Harris would be president, like without a shadow of the doubt. And I'm thinking, okay, well, hey, Nostradamus. And on that note, if you guys think that it's crazy in our country, I really think it's important that you know what's going on abroad. This isn't a isolated domestic issue. This is a worldwide issue right now. We're not even going to talk about Canada because in all honesty, I don't really give a shit about Canada. I don't believe Canada holds any threat. There's nothing in Canada we cannot get in the United States. I'll fight you on this. We can go back and forth. I literally had a person was just like, oh, well, what about hockey? You're a hockey fan, Denise. Okay, every person almost playing on Team Canada, because I don't know for sure, because some of the guys they were like new, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know that guy. Were from the United States. And in turn, tons of people on Team USA were Canadian or played on Canadian teams. Like, stop it right now. You literally wouldn't have a job because your NHL team is in America. So no, we can do hockey too. Trust me, we can. We got this. I can't. I'm like, and don't even get me started on syrup. We talked about the syrup. We make syrup here. We make maple syrup here in America. So if you're going to, I don't care what you do with your maple syrup. We get it here. In fact, I can buy maple syrup locally, made from a local tap in my county. Yeah, and it's super ass good. So no, that's not shocking me either. But there are a lot of things going on in the political forum, in the refugee forum, countries across the globe. Okay? Big things happening in Italy. There, if you don't know, okay, because I don't want to get into the hard end matters of it, but there is a huge refugee issue going on in Europe right now. It is a problem, and the UK. It is a huge problem, meaning mass refugees were allowed to come into countries, usually demanded by the EU, but that's a whole nother podcast. And so now those refugees have basically taken over parts of the countries that they were allowed to come in for safe refuge. And they are demanding things that they fled their country from. For instance, Sharia law. And a lot of countries, like Switzerland, are banning the hijab because, and there's kind of we'll talk about it a little bit more about the religious part of this, but they're, because the instances and percentages of crime against women, especially sexual violence, has increased astronomically. And so Switzerland said, hey, we can't get anybody to identify you if you're covered. So for the safety of Swiss people, because they're Switzerland, we need to ban that. And I believe they did it in a few other countries, and it seems to be following suit everywhere. But it's getting pretty scary because they're literally marching through the neighborhoods that they've been in the little towns and stuff, and they're demanding and acting out in violence. This is also happening in Germany. They're the ones that they're really reaching out like it's a big deal. It's happening in, I'm trying to think of the big places. Canada, just saying. It's happening in the UK. The United Kingdom is really getting hit hard, and they're also having some political issues there between a conservative and a non-conservative platform, a right and left platform. And what has happened, or what is happening over the last couple years is that British citizens are being stripped of their freedom of speech and of being proud of being English or Scottish and being jailed. I'm not even making this up. And one of the things that you can do is I'll give you somebody to follow, and then we're going to take a quick break. Woman, hilarious. Her name is Katie, Katie Hopkins, Hopkins. Check her out on Instagram. I don't know what other platform she's on. That's what I do. I love her. She's hilarious. She tells the truth. She gives it from a British perspective, and she does it with a twist of humor. So it kind of really makes you kind of think about it. And I do sometimes fear for this woman's safety. And I think she's starting to get worried too. But, you shouldn't have to be worried about how you speak anywhere in the world, but especially in America or in England or in Canada. And yet we're getting told we can't say certain things, and that's not okay, especially in America. So we're going to take a quick break for our sponsor, and then we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Peter Sith, and I'm here to tell you about something you have to have for your kids. My new book, Popcorn World. Peek inside my creative brain and meet Dylan, an ordinary kid who accidentally finds a portal to his new world in his basement while looking for his lost soccer ball. Your kids will totally be able to relate to Dylan and all his emotions, trials, and big act of kindness in my story. I worked on creating this book over the summer with my awesome tutor, Dr. Peterson. She helped me guide me through the parts of my book, and boom, Popcorn World was created. Another cool fact, my mom does all the drawings. Trust me, these pictures and the story are super cool, but you can find out yourself by picking up a copy on Amazon, and it's available worldwide. So even if my family and friends in Slovakia, Canada, Scotland, and Italy can get a copy of Popcorn World. Don't forget the name, Popcorn World. Available on Amazon now! Let's make reading cool.
Hello, we're back. I'm back. So, yeah, we were talking about, if you want to know the situation of what's going on in the UK right now politically on a world platform, follow Katie Hopkins on Katie with a K, I-E, on Instagram. I don't know her. I follow her. I don't get nothing from her, but I find her humorous and informative. She knows what she's talking about. She's well aware of what's going on. She should run for something. I love her. But I have lots of friends in the UK that I'm worried about because it's becoming an issue, and it's becoming very violent. Very violent. So what else are we going to talk about today? Let me see, and then look at my notes here. Oh, gosh. Okay, yeah, we're going to go back to healthcare and our health in general. So I started these new supplements, and they are liposomal, I'm looking for science, like liposomal science, and they're herbal and they're liquid. Okay. Now they do have powders as well. I haven't tried any of the powders. I'm just doing the liquids right now. But it's only been a couple days, but this is the first day that I've taken them all, and I'm feeling good. And I'm feeling good. Whatever it is. Yeah, I'm crazy. Whatever. That's why you love me. So I love this stuff. Now I'm doing all the research on the company. I love that the owner is a female. Yeah, baby. And so I love to support women-owned businesses. I love that she is natural. The name of the company, I don't get anything again, is Apothecary with a K. And I've really started, I don't usually recommend anybody get stuff until I really start trying it. And I'm still in the testing process, so I'm not even going to talk about it yet. So to that matter, but I'm really loving it. And I love all the information they have. And it's not like you just take a dropper and put it in your mouth. She helps people dry out. So you could make cocktails with these, non-alcoholic, and all of these. So this morning I made a fresh ginger, just a little, that's me grating ginger. And fresh ginger, the Buster's looking at me like, what are you doing? So that I've decided this is Buster's voice from now on. This is Buster's voice. Okay. Again, I've lost my mind. This is what happens when you're feeling good. And so I slept good last night too. I slept a solid 8 hours yesterday. That is like I slept a week to regular people. It's truth though. So a little grated ginger, and I put in a half a lemon, just squeeze that baby in there. And then I put in a half a teaspoon of ginger syrup. Make sure you get yourself you can make your own ginger syrup. It's just, I use organic sugar. Make sure you're using cane sugar. But it's water, cane sugar, and ginger. Okay. So you got to break it down. I just buy it. There's an amazing one from Fiji and I love it, but I got it. And it's literally just organic cane juice and organic ginger. Boom. So I get it pre-made. Like sometimes you got to treat yourself. You know what I'm saying? Mix that all together and just like literally just put in, if you have problems with drinking ginger, I guess you could put in powdered ginger. I don't know what to tell you, but I like ginger. So, and I don't mind swallowing it and it kind of burns going down and it's like, kill the germs, do your job. And so then it said use a tonic water. So I like my Q tonics. So I put in a Q tonic and then you put a drop. I used their Blue Burn and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to find more recipes, right? There's a reason for this. I go to the website and they have a ton of different recipes of things you could do with their different products. And I'm going through all the different drinks and things that they do or smoothies or whatnot. And I'm reading the comments on these things. I wish these were affordable, but like doing this every month for the ones I want would be like $160. And I'm like, okay, I understand. I am not even going to argue or debate that some people currently right now think that $160 a month on a supplemental product is outrageous. However, if they added up all the money they spent on donuts, coffee, junk food, lunch, co-pays, all of their glucose ingredients, I'm not even joking. And I can say that. I'm not making fun of diabetics, but I will tell you that most people who are in a weight situation will not factor in any of these things. All they look at is a monetary. If you say immediately, just think about this, because I've mentioned this many times to clients that I've had in the past. Please don't tell me you can't afford something when you walk in here every week with a Burger King bag. Because if you just put that Burger King aside, you could afford the supplement that you need to take. You know what I'm saying? Or you could afford to eat better. But you won't look at that way. So here's the deal. Here's the hypothetical. I got a tincture that could literally, this is hypothetical, make everything that is wrong with you better. It will give you more energy. You will sleep well. You will feel well. You will want to do things. You're going to change the world the way you feel because you're going to be able to do all of the things that you are restricted by your numerous diseases and illnesses like now. Okay? And it only costs $250 a month. Are you taking it? Or are you going to bitch about how much it cost? And let me tell you, they'll sit there and debate it with me. There's nothing to debate. It's a hypothetical. This tincture can absolutely cure you. We can use the C word because it's hypothetical. Any ailment you have is gone. You feel like you're 15 again, except you're 55. And it's $250 a month. Are you paying for it? Are you going to find the money for it? I guarantee you that 1 out of 10 people would pay for it. I'm not even joking. That is just my personal, I have no definitive proof. It's a hypothetical. I just know based on my experience with past clientele and speaking to people on a global basis about this stuff and what I get in feedback in life from the hospitals I've worked at, from all of this, that I would almost stake money on that I could get maybe 1 out of 10 people that will buy in to their health. Because it's easier to buy into sickness because most of the people lay on that side. And this comes back to this whole revolution I told you guys about, that if we can get Robert Kennedy Jr. to do half of the things that he is projecting to do on his list of things for our health, we are all winners. Every single one of us, whether we hate him or not. He has made you healthier if he did half the things on his list. In fact, if he only does one thing on his list, he's done more than half already. I can guarantee you that, because I'm watching that like a fine-tuned comb, with a fine-tuned comb. But I'm telling you, you have won whether you accept it or not. Because most of the hidden dangers we pay for every day and we don't think twice about it. But somehow we just want things to be so quick and so easy. Don't worry, you could take a pill for that. You could take a pill for that. You could take a shot, all these GLP receptor shots. Stop. They cause kidney failure. They cause liver failure. They cause blood clots. They cause all these issues going on. But yet in the pursuit of being skinny, that's okay. No, it's not okay. The amount of money people are spending on those every week, you could literally take that money and just eat better and swap out some garbage. Because like I always tell people, even when I was doing holistic nutrition, I would go through people's pantries and I'd say, listen, I'm not going to rob you and strip your whole pantry, but I will tell you what you need to replace all this garbage with. Is the garbage taste like the old garbage? No, the new garbage is healthy for you. It's hard to get used to eating stuff that's healthy because your taste buds have been ruined and chemically changed and toyed with so that you crave and only want those products, the garbage. So that, like, do you ever wonder why so many kids and adults are like, yeah, I don't eat that. I don't like it. You don't like broccoli, but you'll eat a fucking flaming red hot Cheeto? They got blue ones now. Someone told me they have like flaming fire blue Cheetos. No. Wait, you won't put a fucking broccoli in your mouth, but you'll eat a blue ass chip that tastes like fire and put a hole in your fucking stomach? That is insane to me. That is insane to me. I like hot sauce. Do you know what you should get? They got these crunchy Cheetos from this company that is like clean, and they're so good. They taste just like crunchy, the regular crunchy Cheetos, but they're clean food, no problems. You want them to be hot? Dip them in habanero sauce. That's what I do. That's how you get flaming hot. And the habanero sauce I bought from a local person that makes all their stuff. So there's no garbage in that either. It's insane what people will, we have been making write-offs and all these, writing off things and just all these excuses for ourselves. And it's gotten to be an epidemic. That's the real epidemic. That we have no longer can taste the quality of food and vegetables. It kills me when adults tell me, I don't eat that. So like I have a texture thing. What? I got a poison thing. Like, I can't eat any of that shit. It's all poison. I'm like, somebody posted the other day, my favorite new health food, and it was a rice cake. I'm not even fucking kidding. If you're still eating rice cakes, honestly, we need to have a conversation. Why? It was a rice cake with guacamole. I don't know where they got the guacamole. That can be healthy unless you bought some shit that's gross. You know what I mean? The prepackaged stuff. But there are some prepackaged stuff that's just the mashed avocado. So I live in the Midwest, so avocados are not a thing right now. Even when they come from abroad, I feel like everything's like unripe right now in the Midwest. And so you can buy a certain brand of avocado that's already like smashed per se. But at least it's ripe. And it's only avocados. That's it. So I'll buy that when I need avocados. Because there's nothing worse than needing an avocado and then getting one and it's hard as shit. And you're like, oh, now I need like 4 days to get this ripe. And, That's not going to happen. I needed it tonight. So that said, there's lots of hidden stuff in everything, but like, why? Don't tell me you can't eat that, but then you eat all that other garbage. It's just not okay. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. And so I'm hoping that over time, getting rid of all of these chemicals and just gross preservatives and seed oils and everything will maybe bring some taste buds back. It could actually change your palate. So that would be great, because then people, I think, right away are going to be healthier, because you could try other foods. You know what I mean? So we were in church last week, obviously last weekend, Sunday. And one of the things they were talking about that really like just popped out on me was, sorry, I switched fast there. Basically with the healthcare stuff, it was really just heartbreaking to see how many people were just saying that they couldn't do it because of the price. And in all honesty, these are not that expensive. So I was just like, yeah, we're still doing that. And I just won't understand that ever. To me, my health is worth more than anything. And I'll try everything. I'll try anything. I research the hell out of it, and then I go in. So that's what I'm doing now. I did all my research, and now I'm going in. I'll let you guys know. So going to church. Then we're going to wrap up today. They were talking about ICNU. Now, I can't even tell you what that means anymore, because in all honesty, I was taking notes on my phone in the middle of our atrium with all these people staring at me like, why is she on her phone? And I'm like, I'm taking notes for a podcast because I'm being touched by Pastor Dave right now. Not literally, but resonating with me, what he's saying. And so they were saying, like, with your kids, that you need to understand, like, there are certain things. And I kind of went this, like, how you can have these, like, conversations with your kids and what you can do with your kids to just kind of overall be better parents, better people, because I think that you can almost kind of like relay this to other people's kids too, right? But at the same time, there are so many kids who are spoiled right now and rotten and it's not really because the kids, it's the parents. And that doesn't help you. Like, I just read there was some lady who was on an airplane. She actually just won a lawsuit with the airline, but she was on a window seat that she paid for and paid extra money to upgrade into. And there was a young kid in her seat. When I say young kid, I guess it was like 6, 7. And she said, oh, hey, that's my seat. And somebody's filming, and I guess mom, I don't know. And she said, well, he really wants to sit there. Can't you just like sit in his seat? And you know, when people say that, they're never like in first class. They're always like sitting at the back of the plane. I won't sit on the back of the plane, period. Okay. I have lupus. I don't sit on the inside. I must be on an aisle. It is for my medical comfort. But long story short, this woman said she wasn't going to give up her seat, that she's sorry, but this is what she paid for. And, you know, she needed to sit in that seat for reasons. And so that is when everything went wrong. Then she started being berated by what we thought. The video seemed like it was the mom of the kid, but someone was saying that somebody else was filming it. And I was reading through the court documents really quick, but she was berated and repeatedly asked why she medically needed to be at the window, which is against the law. Okay. You don't need to know anybody's medical reasons for anything they do. And you know what? I purchased this seat. Could you imagine being at a stop sign in your car and having somebody pull up next to you and being like, you know what? You drive like a Ford. Why are you driving in the middle lane? Why would you drive a Ford? What possessed you to drive a Ford and drive in the middle lane? You should only drive in the right lane because you have a Ford. I need that lane where you're at. Pull over right now. We're at a stop sign. Just kind of edge your car. Oh, I mean, it's just ridiculous. This is the same situation. There's a reason why you pay for a seat on an airline. There is a God, because this will never happen to me. And it happened to me once. And they were giving me a hard time. And I told the flight attendant, or whatever they call themselves now, I said, listen, I have an autoimmune disease and I am not going to disclose it because I don't have to. Those are my rights in America. I sit on the aisle. The mother didn't plan accordingly. I'm real sorry her kid is next to me, but I will tell you this, I'm going to compromise. I will sit in first class or business class, or I will sit on an aisle seat ahead of me and they'll switch with the mom. But I cannot sit anywhere else for my medical reasons, or there will be legal ramifications. Because I also pay extra for my aisle seats for more comfort. And the stewardess was like, I got you. And the mom was just like, oh, see. And first off, the mother never once thanked me. Somebody else sat, so I gave my seat to the mom whose kid was sitting next to me. And then some woman said that how did it work? That must have been like somebody else. Anyway, I wound up sitting in first class. Boom. And the reason why, the flight attendant said, was because I was so nice. This was years ago. I don't even know if they do that now. But there was an open vacancy in first class, and that's where they moved me. And she said it was because you were so polite about it and explained why you couldn't, but gave us an alternative to work with. And I worked with it. And I'm like, awesome. I'll have a drink, please. It's what it is. But they were saying, so what are some of the things? So they were saying, like, what do kids need? And we always say love. And the pastor said, how do you spell love? And this is what really stood out to me. Right? We're all like L-O-V-E in our minds, right? And he said, T-I-M-E. What? Like, what? Think about that. How do you spell love when it comes to children? T-I-M-E, time. And so time, when you spend time with kids. And this is one of the things I've been trying to do with Peter, because it's very difficult. I have lots of things that lay undone, and then everyone's like, I thought you were working on a book. Yeah, bitches, I am. But, I also have to sleep. We're going to talk about that in a second too. But you know what I mean? So I give up a lot of the things that, and we all do as moms, we give up the things and the pet projects that we have. We shouldn't have to, but we do. We do. And I can only work on certain pet projects at a time. Well, is this going to be all the time? No. I'll get a couple hours back more daily in a couple years when he's doing basically all of his homeschool with little to zero instruction, because it's all going to be self-instructed, right? And then I just follow up and go through review and stuff. But right now, it mandates more of my time. So therefore, I have to give up my pet projects. But when you give your time to kids like this, you are showing them accountability. When you're training your kids, every one of their consequences has a natural life circumstance. They're not just left out there unaccounted for themselves. Now, what was I talking about this girl on the plane? What I should have said was, in the end, okay, this kid started throwing a tantrum because he had to get up from his chair to go 3 seats behind this woman to a window seat. But yet the mother, the child, and several people apparently on the airplane, and apparently the flight crew, didn't even get involved while this woman was being verbally attacked and harassed on the plane over, I don't know, having to give up the seat she paid money and extra for, and then have the entire flight be an harassment by an entitled mom with a spoiled brat kid, because she is not spending time with him or holding him accountable. She's not shaping them. And this is what we're getting. this is what we're getting in the world. How's that going to work out in the job? Just look at what goes out, people, your president's not elected. You're bawling in the street. You're shaving your fucking head. This is not normal behavior. If something doesn't work out your way, you get upset, you get mad, you do whatever, you eat a bag of fucking cookies, whatever your fucking poison is, you have a chocolate bar, you put your big girl pants back on, you take a fucking nap and you go to sleep and you get up and it's like the same fucking day. No big deal. That's what you do. But it all kicked in. I saw like that incident. Mind you, this woman went to court over this with the airline and she won. And she got damages in the millions. And I thought, good for her. Now, she wasn't American, so she didn't get, like, I feel like she could have got more, like, based on, like, her disabilities and stuff. Because they were, like, really driving home, like, why are you in that seat? The film is disturbing. I'm thinking, oh, my God. If I was on that plane, I'd be like, everybody shut up and sit the fuck down. Leave this woman alone. Shut that fucking kid up. Like, are you kidding me right now? I don't tolerate for that kind of bullshit in public. I'll let something go until it gets stupid. And then if I think somebody's just fucking like ganging up or just won't shut up, somebody needs to fucking do something. I'm usually that person. It is what it is. There's got to be somebody or shit like that happens. See, somebody like me needed to be on that plane so they could tell this person, listen, you're kind of out of line now. She said, no, go sit in your fucking seat. And then I'd be like pressing the fucking button to call light, being like, where the fuck's the flight crew? Shut these people up. Get them a fucking drink or something and get her a double. That's insane. That's insane. Anyway, so it's ridiculous. But how do you spell love? Time. Provides accountability. You shape them, right? Because again, all of these, every one of the consequences has a natural life circumstance. And I try to do this with Pete. I want to shape him. I want to train them the way they should go. I don't want to have him guess. I don't want to leave him out there to his devices. That's fine when he's an adult, but I'm supposed to provide him with what he should need. I need to train him to let him know that if he is in this situation, this is probably the way you should go. Now, you have your own devices when you're an adult. You may choose not to go that way. It may be a problem later, but you're an adult and you kind of got to like make the bed, right? You got to sleep in the bed. So study them, know them, give them a hunger and a desire to grow. And that is like, it's so hit home with me. I'm like, this is me. Like I stress about this sometimes and I need to not. Because it is just a job that I need to do and I'm doing the job, Give them the desire. How are they growing? Give them the desire to grow in wisdom, in stature, in favor with God. And then he said, and man. Because we all need to know we need to get along with God, right? But what is lacking in today's society? Getting along with other men. With man in general, meaning men and women. That's all I'm going with. Stop it. And that is from Luke 2:52. I was like, shut up, it is. Disciple them. And it's interesting because when they brought that up, I actually purchased into a program that I've been utilizing this year called Discipling Your Children. And it's just something that I found online. And I really like it. But disciple them. That comes from Deuteronomy 6:4-7. And if you're ever thinking like what you can do or what you're doing wrong or when you're overwhelmed or even when we overlook when we're doing right, remember that stuff. Remember what I just said, that how do you spell love? Time. All you can do is spend time with your kids while they want to be there. Time to grow them, to shape them, to hold them accountable, study them, know them, provide them a hunger and a desire to grow in wisdom, stature, favor with God and man. You're going to disciple them. That's all we can do. And that's all I got for you today, peeps. Until next week, lead with kindness and lean on God. Bye.